Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV. In this video we're jumping into the second gatherer, Botanist. This is the levels 50 to 70 Botanist quests. So, similar to, well, just like Miner, I have already gotten all the items I needed for the quests. And, well, besides the level 60 to 70s. So, we can breeze right through this. So, Fufu, it's been a long time, lady. What's going on? Good evening to you, Cecilla. It does my spirit well to see you again. Inspired by your words, I have been reflecting upon the relationship between man and forest. I should like to hear your opinion on... Fufu, I'm back! Have you given any thought to my request? Ah. Oh, I beg your pardon. I didn't know you had a guest. Judging by your attire, I take it you're a botanist as well. How did you know? I'm sorry, but our situation is unchanged. I'm afraid there are no botanists at present who can assist with your story. I won't make a bird of myself, I promise. I just need them to answer a few questions in their spare time. What about this adventurer here? She looks like a capable sort. Cecilla? Well, she is certainly one of our best. What are you volunteering me for? But first things first, let me introduce you to Mujai Murila. I'm just calling him Muji. It's easier. A reporter for The Raven. She is planning a series of articles for which she requests our guild's cooperation. Specifically, she would like to follow the doings of a first-rate botanist for an indefinite period of time. Alas, none among us who meets her stringent requirements can afford to engage her at present. None say perhaps you, Cecilla. Ooh, my salvation has come, and her name is Cecilla. What exciting adventures into botany will she take me on, I wonder? Do I have a say in this? Can I say no? You're volunteering me for stuff I didn't agree on. As to that, we received a petition for aid from faraway Ishgard. You recall our dear friend and colleague, Roitloin, who resides in the central highlands of Korthus. Well, a friend of his is struggling to raise crops in the Ishgardian frontier, and he begs us to send a botanist to aid him. I mean, you're growing crops in a frozen, in a snowy tundra. What'd you expect? The Ishgardian frontier? That sounds positively wild. I can already picture the title. Foreign botanist at the frontier. I've got a good feeling about this. I'll go on ahead to Roitloin's place and ask him a few questions. Oh my god. What did I get myself into? She is certainly wasting no time. Assuming you are willing to take on this task and bear with Muji, please pay Roitloin a visit yourself and have the particulars from him. I have no doubt you will gain much from the experience. For good measure, here is a letter of introduction. And in case you've forgotten, Roitloin can be found at Skyfire Locks. Good luck to you, Cecilla. I have forgotten, actually. Alright, where is Skyfire? Oh, it's right there. Alright. Okay. Hello, Roitloin. It's been a good while. I've been expecting you, Cecilla. Aye, Mistress Muji has told me everything and rather more besides. Here you go. A letter of introduction. Ever proper as our Fufu. She scarcely needs one of these to vouch for your skill, my friend. As you'll have been informed, the petition comes not from me, but a friend. Basail is his name, and he is a botanist engaged in settling the Sea of Clouds. That is where your task will take you, and for an extended period of time. Lord, So some years ago, House Halienard established an outpost there, and they seek to make the place self-sufficient. To this end, my friend has been attempting to cultivate various crops. Alas, results have been mixed at best, and that is where you come into the picture. Now, I should like you to send you along to Besail at once, except Ishgard isn't accommodating to foreigners. We must find a way to circumvent the bureaucracy. You are a guest of House Fortoms, you say? Well, then your entry was not the issue from the first. However, I have doubts whether Mistress Mushi will be permitted to accompany you. You needn't worry, I have ways of getting into places, and I will get into Ishgard. See if I don't. That is well, I think. Now then, Besail has returned to the Holy See to meet with you. If it suits, I shall let him know to look for you at the Aetheryte Plaza. At the Aetheryte Plaza. Got it. I'll see you there, Cecilla. How are you gonna get in? Oh, guess that's not my problem. Alright. What took you so long? Your client's been waiting for the better part of a bell. Well, excuse me. Curious how I got into Ishgard, I shouldn't doubt. For now, let's suffice to say, if anyone asks, I'm your retainer. Well. 'Tis a pleasure to meet you, Cecilla, and your lively retainer as well. I'm Besail. Thank you for coming on, making the long journey to Ishgard. Though we still have some ways to go, to be sure. As I'm sure you've been told, I'm a botanist at Camp Cloudtop. We're heavily reliant on supplies being brought in by airship, but I'm trying to change that. Unfortunately, my ventures into farming haven't yielded the results I had hoped for. So I reached out to Roitloin, who then reached out to your guild. I'll return it into your abundant knowledge and skilled hands both. In case you're wondering, I haven't any work for you just yet. Today's a meet and greet, as it were. When I got a specific request, I'll send by way of your trusty retainer. And a trustier retainer there has never been. I shall convey all your messages without delay. I'm very much obliged, miss. Now then, I best be getting back to my work. Look forward to seeing you again, most certainly at Camp Cloudtop. Well. I'll remain here in Ishgard and await word from Besail. Please come by whenever you can spare a moment from your busy schedule. Oh good, there's more manuals I could have used. Shh, a little late. God damn. Well, I could save it for when the level cap increases. I probably won't get jack shit at that point, but hey. Perfect timing, Cecil. A word arrived from Besail not a moment ago. He has a task and he bids you come to Camp Cloudtop. Let's go at once. She's very excited. Alright. What's going on over here? Mike, thanks for coming on short notice. To begin with, I'd like to ask your advice on crops that would thrive in this environment. Right now, our principal crop is a strain of pumpkin native to these isles. With some experimentation, we've succeeded in cultivating it. Unfortunately, hardly anything else grows that's a viable food source. It has something to do with the ratio of wind to earth aspect of ether up here. There's a much higher concentration of the former, you see, and hardly any of the latter. Gosha grains are just about the only thing that has worked out, and these aren't the same as we have in Corthus, either. It may interest you to know that the seeds came to us from Gardania, from the Botanist Guild. Roitloin urged me to give them a try, and lo and behold, they cropped up like weeds. Strange things do happen, eh? But in the end, Gosha grains are fit only for chocobos, and what little I'm managing to grow at the moment doesn't make up for the shortfall of shit. If we're to keep feeding the garrison, we need more crops than that grow, and it's instead about growing them as soon as possible, or soon we'll be supping on bird fodder. So I'd like to ask your opinion. In selecting a crop, what quality is the most critical? I don't know. Hardiness to cold, hardiness to elevation. I don't know. Hardiness to cold? I see. In that case, I might try our luck with onions. That reminds me. A hunter I spoke with recently mentioned having seen wild onions in the Dravani forelands. Cyclops onions, they're called, and I fancy our chances of cultivating them. If they succeed, they should make a welcome addition to our rations. I'd be grateful if you can manage to bring 10 bulbs of the best specimens you can find. I already got them. One step ahead of you. My, they're far larger than I had dared to hope. My thanks, Cecil. I shall try to grow them in our test plot right away. A test plot, you say? That's right, miss. Before we grow something in earnest, we need to make certain that there won't be a deterrent, there won't be a detriment to other crops. Though sustenance is important, and so too is sustainability. If we don't think ahead, we're liable to damage the environment, and that will leave us with nothing. I see. Pioneers must be at once bold and cautious. A delicate balancing act. With that, I believe I have sufficient material for my first article. I'll get going back to Ishgard and send my notes to the chief editor. See what the ether replies, Cecila. She's so excited. Alright. What are you doing? What happened? Good. Tidings, Cecil. The chief editor was utterly taken by my draft, and the first installment of my series will soon grace the Raven. Oh, unless you wonder, I'll make sure to withhold names and locations. It's an Ishgardian outpost, after all, and we can't well have such details known to all and sundry. But have a listen to this. So it was that the dilemma of a suitable crop was solved thanks to the ingenuity of one humble botanist. It shall not be long ere this azure frontier is blanketed in life-giving Cyclops onions. That's how I'm planning to close the article. I see you're not entirely convinced that the dilemma is solved. Well, it practically is. Only I can't write practically. The statement would lose something for it. As before, I'll remain in Ishgard and await word from Basail. I look forward to the next task. Okay, I'll take your silver pieces. Thank you! I was hoping you'd come by, but Basail another task for you. Just so you know, I won't be accompanying you from now on. While you go about your gathering, I have in mind to do some gathering of my own, for information here in the Holy See. Having said that, I will require a report from you afterwards, so be sure to remember all the juicy details. Now, off you go to Camp Cloud Top. I don't have to babysit anymore? Yes! I hate babysitting people. Alright. Thanks for your help the other day, Cecila. I'm pleased to report that the Cyclops onions are coming along nicely. This time I need your help to maintain soil quality. As you know, soil gradually becomes barren with continued cultivation. In order to keep it fertile, we normally grow crops from the bean family at regular intervals. Alas, such beans as we have in Korthus refuse to grow here. Unless we do something, I fear the soil will cease to yield crops altogether. Is there something you can suggest? Try growing Gordanian variety beans. But of course! We managed to grow Gasha grains from Gordanian seeds. Perhaps this success can be repeated with beans. I'm sorry to trouble you, Cecil, but could you please travel to Gordania and consult Fufu? If anybody knows a strain of beans suited to suit our needs, it'll be she. I mean, sure. Visiting to toast the guild. I read all about your recent exploits on the Raven. You have been away for only a short while and already have achieved so much. All of us here are very proud of you. Oh, embellished? Well, I thought simply that was simply the way of Muji's profession. And though her words may have been flowery, I choose to believe that they are firmly rooted in truth. In any case, all seems to be well with you, and for that I'm glad. Now then, is there something you wish to talk about? I need advice on beans. Cover crops by revitalizing soil and those that will grow in the sea of clouds besides. This is a difficult order to fill. From my experience, I would say that the shrouded vetch would be best suited. Even so, it is not entirely ideal. Nay, it must be crossed with a highland strain to create what Basail needs. Now, rather than crossing strains haphazardly, I suggest you seek the counsel of a specialist. That is an Ishgardian native versed in local flora. Show him this bundle of shroud vetch, and he should be able to provide you with the name of a suitable match. As to where you might find such an individual, I dare say Muji would be the best person to ask. It is her business to know people, after all. God damn. Alright. Well, maybe she learned something. Hey Muji, I need to pick your brain. What are you doing over here? Fufu suggested you come to me? Ooh, she's a sharp one. Indeed, it's my business to know people, and I happen to know just the person you're looking for. Martineau is his name, and he's no less than the foremost herbalist in all of Ishgard. I'll arrange a meeting right away. Actually, I wonder if it's appropriate to intervene in the doings of my subject. Never mind the details. They're the bane of a good story. I'll have Martineau come and meet you in the St. Raymond's Cathedral. Off you go, Cecila. Oh boy. Gotta go there. I don't want to go to church. Okay. Hello, Martineau. You're the botanist who wishes to speak with me. You certainly appear capable, as your frenetics friend led me to believe. I always enjoyed the chance to engage with fellow lovers of nature, and being a researcher, I welcome the insights of gatherers like your good self. But come, I am given to understand you seek advice on crossing strains of beans. This. Is that rain? Holy shit, that is rain. Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear that, but that's rain. Damn. I'm sorry if my mic was a little low, on the low side of the volume. I didn't realize it was so low. Now it's fixed, hopefully. I had always held the Botanist Guild in the highest regard. Seeing such fine specimens serves to reaffirm that sentiment. As Mistress Fufu has already concluded, the shroud vetch will not prosper in the sea of clouds. It must need to be crossed with another strain to bring out its resilience. I'll recommend emerald beans, a rare strain that grows in the churning mists. For your purposes, you'll need perhaps 10 handfuls of the finest specimens you can find. And with that, I trust you now know what is required. Should you have further questions, do not hesitate to seek me out again. Alright, got what we needed. Now let's go pay this guy a visit. Miss Muji tells me you managed to get... Okay, here you go. So these are the emerald beans. If I understand correctly, the plan is to cross these with shroud vetch. Do you have the ladder as well? I do. Here you go. Marvelous! My thanks, Cecil. I shall set about cross-pollinating them at once. The process will require considerable time and effort, but I'm confident that will be worthwhile in the end. Before I forget, Miss Muji left a message for you. She bids you come and meet her at the Aetheryte Plaza in Ishgard. Okay. Let's go see what she's doing. Night, Muji. Oh, Welcome back, Cecil, and good work. Not only did you help Basail solve another problem, you served as a bridge connecting the people of Gridania and Ishgard. And in case you're wondering, I've already sent off the draft for the second installment in my series. It's bound to be as successful as the first, and there's not a hint of fabrication in there. Embellishments? Certainly, but no fabrication. 2 nations, 1 seed. That's a title I have in mind. Simple, but powerful, even if I do say so myself. Of course, my story is secondary to all your hard work. But sales crops are coming along well, and it's no small part due to your efforts. For his sake, keep it up. Oh, I'm in it for the long run at this point, so why not? Oh my god. Cecil, I received word from Basail. He has 2 pieces of news to share with you. 1 good, 1 bad. To begin with the good, he succeeded in cross-pollinating the 2 varieties of beans you brought him. A new, more resilient strain is on its way. As for the bad, the vermin population has fairly exploded, most likely due to rapid reclamation, and they're threatening the crops. Unless the pests are dealt with, they'll undo all of Basail's hard work. Please hurry to Camp Cloud at once to see how you can be of help. I mean, I'm a botanist, what can I do? It's awful, Cecil. Just awful. Our crops were coming along so well, but now a plague of vermin threatening to destroy it all. Now chemical concoction would deal with them quickly enough, but it's like to harm all the creatures indiscriminately. What's more, there's no telling what other effects it might have on the environment. If at all possible, I'd like to protect our crops without resorting to such extreme measures, but I don't know how to go about it. You spoke with Master Martinu before. Do you think you could seek him out again and trouble him for advice with regard to our dilemma? Oh, if I must. Why can't he just come here? Make things so much easier. I don't have to keep going back and forth. Convenience sake. You look troubled, my friend. Is something the matter? Though your friend's concern for nature is touching, and extreme circumstances call for extreme measures. Were I in his shoes, I wouldn't rule out an alchemical concoction. But tell me, what are your own thoughts on this? We should avoid killing the local fauna. So you determined to place nature first. I respect that. Very well, I'll share with you my knowledge. Why is he lunging at me like he's gonna fight me? When dry distilled birch bark yields a tar which possesses vermin repellent properties. Oh shit, I skipped the last bit. You would do well to gather birch logs at the same place the vermin inhabit, namely the Sea of Clouds. 10 of superior quality should suffice to begin with. A simple solution for simple minds. Okay. I found a way to protect your crops. I got some logs. To think that such a method existed, I'll begin extracting tar from these logs at once. Once again, I'm in your debt. I don't know what I would have done without you, when the thought of it shames me. Here I am, professing to put nature first, yet I was powerless in the face of this trial. When I mentioned my plight to Mistress Mushi, she was very worried for me. She would even offered my help in any way she could. Please pass along my thanks to her as well. Okay. Well, let's go reassure her worries. Or, not reassure. What's the word I'm looking for? Relieve. That's it. Welcome back, Sessa. Another day, another job well done. I shouldn't doubt. Oh? The cell senses thanks, you say? Well, his passion is downright infectious, as is yours. You can't help but want the help. Unless you wonder, I don't allow sentiment to kill my oracles. Nay, I tell it as I see it, and this time it's about respecting nature. Here's a choice passage from my draft. In that moment, a warm sensation swept over me, and I knew for pride that in this faraway land, the Gridanian love for harmony has taken root. That sounds sentimental, you say? Well, but see, I'm simply giving a voice to what all Forestborn will be feeling. A small but distinct difference. At any rate, I've got another promising addition to my series, and it's all thanks to you. Keep up the good work. Damn, I'm breezing through these really quickly. Huh. More at the last one. For the 50. Hello there, Cecilla. Come for a task, have you? Well, aren't we enthusiastic? Which makes me feel that almost sorry to disappoint. There's been no word from Basail, I'm afraid. Oh, speak the devil? Oh, speak the devil! He's calling my link pro right now. If you excuse me a moment. Basail! Yes, this is Muji. How fare you? What? What's going on? It's a terrible news, Cecilla. Basail's got into trouble with the vault. Seems my articles were brought to the attention of some dignitaries, and they're all taking issue with his recent ventures. I made certain to withhold details pertaining to security, so it's not a question of leaked intelligence at the very least. To hear Basail tell it, he's just a hapless pawn in the game between the nobles. 'Twas House Zamail that alerted the vault to his alleged misdeeds. A petty blow against House Helinar. What a bunch of dicks. However it happened, Basail is in trouble and we must help him. Could you please go to him and ask for the details? I'll explore all possible avenues of aid in the meantime. Man, House Zamail is a bunch of assholes. We've had a lot of standoffs with them. Alright, what's going on, Basail? My thanks for coming, Cecilla. To put it simply, the Vault isn't pleased with the cooperation I received from the Botanist Guild, and now they sent representatives to convey their displeasure. Father Abaral and Sir Van Croy. I'm just calling Vane. These guys look like assholes too. I take a year for the foreigner with whom they accuse has been consorting. Botanist is Basail. It's come to my attention that you have been using your position of privilege to sow abhorrent seeds upon his guardian soil. Know that your transgressions have sparked an uproar in the vault. So dismayed was Father Abaral, he has prompted to make the long journey to this outpost that he might impress upon you the greatness of the matter. Presently, there exist two varieties of foliage plants called gashel greens. However, only one of them is worthy of the name, that which is native to Korthus. The other originates from the Near East and is a pretender. On account of the ignorance of the masses, however, he usurped the honor name of Gashel. To we proud Ishgarians it was and shall ever be a different plant. We know and will accept no Gashel greens save for that which the Fury has seen fit to bless us. It is a question of honor, and you have besmirched that honor by growing the foreign pretender upon Ishgarian soil. Such are the charges against you. If you protest them, know that the words alone shan't suffice. Now you must needs present us with a conclusive proof of your innocence. We shall wait yonder, but know that we'll not wait long. If you cannot produce the proof, we best prepare yourself for a trial by combat. Isn't that a little extreme for a botanist? Trial by combat? You might be as well throw me off this island right now. I was only acting in our nation's best interest. Seems I have no choice but to try and prove my innocence. But how? It seems like you came from the Botanist Guild. Besides going there, I don't know what else to do. Could you consult the Fufu in my stead? God damn. These guys are a bunch of assholes. I never liked houses of mail. They're a bunch of dicks. Alright. Alright, Fufu, I got a problem. What? I know the Ishgarians can be hard-headed, but this beggars belief. To force their own notion of honor upon nature. Ridiculous doesn't even begin to describe it. Well, the folly of it all notwithstanding, you'll be pleased to know that we can clear Ysail's name. The truth is, the gashel seeds we gave him are of the Korthian variety. The first botanist of a few generations has past brought the plants back to Gridania, and we've been cultivating them over here ever since. And that's not all. Research has proven that much of the Geisel grains presently grown in Ishgard are in fact near Eastern. To wit, the plants under scrutiny are far closer to the true Geisel Ishgardens to revere. So much for their accusations. Here, take this bunch of greens with you. This is the same as that which Basail has been cultivating. An improved strain of Geisel greens found throughout the wilds of Korthus. An expert will be able to identify its Korthian origin at a glance. The problem will be convincing the priest of this fact. You're acquainted with the herbalist Martinu, and that should simplify matters. I suggest you harvest some Geisel grains and present them to the Great Loom strain to him for comparison. Searching relatively unbeaten parts of the Western Highlands, 'tis in such places that you are like to find the purest specimens. 3 bunches of superior size and shape would suffice for your purposes. Once you have enough, pray go to Martinu and have him inspect them. Good luck to you, Cecil. Okay, I already have them. I'm already ahead of the game. Already ahead of the game? Once again, you come to me with a troubled look. Tell me of your plight, and we shall see if my knowledge may avail you. Here you go. Well, these aren't Geisel greens. You've done well to find these, whereas they are. And you have somebody else to show me, you say? This. I've seen many a head of Geisel greens in my time. These specimens can be considered royalty among them. Well, I'm thoroughly impressed, but what is he exactly would have me do? So that is the way of it. I'm ashamed to call those zealots my countrymen. But come, let us compare the greens you brought. Though that our leaves differ, the cores are identical in hue and structure both. There can be no doubt that these 2 specimens belong to the same family of foliage plants. I shall record these findings in a missive for you to use as a testimony. There is no need for thanks. As a man of science, 'tis word enough that I can do my part to prove those old fossils of the Holy See wrong. Oh, old fossils is right. If you found a way to refute the accusations against me, please tell me you have. I have. Here you go. These appear to be Geisel grains, but it's not a variety I'm familiar with. Where did you get this from? Forgive me for being obtuse, but these greens you brought, I'm not quite sure how they will prove my innocence. Yeah, another kind of greens in a missive. This is truly the way of it. By the fear I must show these findings to Father Aberrod at once. Time to shove those greens down in his face. All the Geisel greens found in Ishgard are near the eastern variety, you say? That is an outrageous claim. Utter ridiculous. What proof do you have of this? My lords, please look upon these 2 bunches of greens. One is the Geisel accused of being foreign, and the other is a wild Geisel found in Korthus. Master Martinu, the Holy See's foremost herbalist, testifies that these 2 greens belong to the same family of foliage plants. It is small wonder that the foreign variety has so thrived here, for it wasn't foreign at all. Nay, my lords, it was very much at home. Master Martinu further goes on to write thus. Seeds are born from one end of the realm to another by all creatures great and small. No matter how tightly sealed, the gates will do aught to hinder the spread. Are you ridiculing our nation's policy? Yes, I am. Policies suck. I wouldn't dream of it, Sir Vane. I only wish to draw your attention to a time in the past before Ishgard closed her gates to the outside world. Over a century ago, near eastern Geisel greens were brought over to Eorzea. Thanks to its hardiness, it thrived in our realm, and becoming so ubiquitous, I don't know. that displaced many indigenous species. Species such as the Corthan Geishel, which fairly disappeared, and indeed it would have had the Botanist Guild not continued cultivating as a strain suited to cooler lands. These Geishel greens found a new home in faraway Gridania, and now they have found their way back home to Ishgard. Seeds know no borders; they will sprout wheresoever the earth embraces them. In this manner, Master Martineau ends his missive. As the matter was still undecided, I thought it best to withhold this fact, but I had received a package from Mistress Fufu of the Botanist Guild, containing with seeds beyond counting, along with this message. May they provide for each children and theirs after them for 1,000 years to come. Never in all my years have I felt so humbled, for people will do well to learn from this magnanimous, I can never say that word, gesture. Father, you cannot mean to withdraw those accusations. The Geishel greens in question were of Corthan stock all along. Our accusations were unfounded from the first. The matter is settled. How does it feel? Botanist Spacale seems to have been less tolerant than was warranted. Upon my word, none shall question your deeds or motives again. Pray carry on as you have in the name of our nation. All right. Yeah, walk away, asshole. I never liked you in your house. Every person from your house is a male we come across. This gives us nothing but trouble. Without your help, I'd most certainly be a dead man. Thank you, Cecilla. Thank you 1,000 times over. You've done so much for us already that I couldn't ask you any more of you. From here on, you will endeavor to get on by our own. And who knows, if we work hard enough, one day we may even win over Sir Vane. Now, I suspect that Miss Muji will be beside herself with worry. Please be sure to let her know all is well. Once again, thank you, Cecilla, for everything. Lord. All this happened. Would that had been there to see it all, and sees know no bounds. I reckon I have the title for the final installment. Make no mistake, this clash between religion and reason will make for a truly compelling reading. Ah, but I haven't got. Oh shit! I skipped that whole passage. Damn it! Speaking of packages, would that it didn't cost me an arm and a leg to send those seeds. Now I got nothing to show for my hard work. Oh, what I just said now? You mustn't tell anyone. I wanted to make amends for the trouble I'd caused, you see, and so I sent the seeds in Fufu's name. I'm glad to hear that they were of some help to Basale. Swindler! And with that matter settled, our work here is done. You've been the best subject, Cecilla. Without a doubt, this has been most of a fulfilling story I've ever written, and I couldn't have written it without you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Oh, I've left your aurora with Fufu in Fufu's keeping. Please have it from her when you go make your report, as I'm sure you will. Okay. Fufu! I'm glad to hear that it ended well, and you'll be glad to hear that Muji's latest article has rocked the town. Inspired by the tale, many souls have come knocking upon our door. Those who harbor the dream of becoming a botanist for the first time, as well as those who had once abandoned that dream. The guild is lively for their presence. In the midst of all this activity, a peculiar missive arrived from Ishgard, thanking me and the guild for our donation. I haven't the faintest inkling what this is about. An altruistic reporter. A reporter, you say? Oh, I see. It appears that even the most uninhibited among us may have a bashful side. And that reminds me, I have something for you. Your reward with Muji was doubtless hard-earned, and 'tis plain from your Baron that you have grown much for your experience. Promise that you will continue employing your knowledge and skills in the service to man and nature both. Okay, good. I get materia. That's my package. That's just great. I love it. Not really, because it's useless. Alright, Fufu. What is next? Cecil, nice to see you again. There was certainly something I had meaning to ask you. Are you familiar with a place named Idleshire? I am. A town where man and goblin coexist in harmony, you say? Fascinating. I asked because we just received a request from someone there for our services, and I have been at a loss as to whether or not to accept it. However, your words are cleared any fragment of doubt that once dwelled in my mind. You may have heard that those articles in the Raven were inspired, and a great number of would-be botanists to take up the hatchet. While I'm grateful for their help, I had little cause to do any work myself, and I do worry I may have become rusty as a result. Oh, that's not good. Sessa, would it trouble you to accompany me on this job? If you handled your previous work in the Sea of Clouds with dedication, I would certainly feel much more assured working in unfamiliar territory were you by my side. What say you? Why not? Sure, I could use some company for once. You have my thanks, Sessa. My anxiety has given way to boundless excitement, and it has been quite some time since I had the chance to study a new area's flora. Let's make our way to Idleshire. The appeal for aid came from a lady named Edgitha? Edgith? I'm gonna call you Edge. She bid we visit her at Green Grub mud plots should we be willing to help. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah. Where are we going? Way over there? Well met. I'm assuming you were sent by the Botanist Guild. Wait, you wouldn't happen to be Cesare, would you? I am. By the 12, it is you! I've read all about you, how you valiantly defied the Holy See, proving that guys of green sun to be native to Ishgard actually hail from the far near east. Oh, I feel tingly just recalling your bravery. Was it? You're a true inspiration to Botanist the realm over, Tesla. Oh, how lucky I am that Nofika should see fit to bless me with this, the most precious moment of my life. Little dramatic, don't you think? My apologies, this is all just so emotional. I can't believe any of it is truly happening. Perhaps if I were to get your signature, I would have proof of that. Now snap out of Edge. Remember what happened the last time you were overly forward? Now, where was I? Ah, yes. Thanking you for making the journey. I must admit I hadn't been expecting to party too. Where'd she go? Was she behind me? I see. Admittedly a rather orthodox approach, but the botanist technique stands up to close inspection. And that is precisely this fact that has made perplexed. Based on this evidence, I would say the botanist looking over after this area has as good understanding of the nature as anyone in our guild. Why should they want for our help? Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. Would you happen to be a friend of Cecilis? Thrilled to meet you. To address your query, our problem here has more to do with quantity than quality. Quantity? Considering Idleshire's size, I would not imagine it would struggle to meet demand as things currently stand. No, that's not quite what I meant. As you say, there is more than enough here to supply Idleshire. The real issue is that we wish to branch out and trade with other cities. I suppose it actually concerns both quantity and quality now that I think on it. You see, I created green grub mud plots using the seeds of specially cultivated crops made by Charlene botanists, but there are only so much an absolute novice such as myself can achieve. I am clueless as to how I can better the quality of these crops. While I do understand your plight, I will be less inclined to refer to the creator of the mud plots as an absolute novice. Do you not think you are being somewhat overly humble? No, I'm self-taught after all. How can I be anything but a novice when I was taught by one? My work could never be compared to that of an officially recognized botanist such as yourself. I have been attempting to cultivate a new kind of crop that could be used for trade, but alas, I'm as green as the mud pots themselves. Nothing I try seems to succeed. And that is why you sought our help. Well, I for one am most inclined to grant you our aid. What say, Cecilla? Are you of a similar mind? Why not? You came this far out. Are you sure? You're not just taking pity on me, are you? Frankly, even if you are, I shall accept it. Thank you both so much. This brings to mind that time we both found ourselves in Cortez, does it not? I've always said that the botanist's calling is not to control nature, but rather to accept it and nurture it, so that we may mutually benefit from one another. I must say, it's been quite some time since anything has had me this eager. I have already collected a sample of soil here, and should quite like to take it back to the guild. It's time to set about formulating a plan of action. Okay. Knowing I can count on the guild's help is a great comfort, although I would like to know, who was your knowledgeable companion? It's the guildmaster. What? The first botanist herself, Fufu? Good heavens, to think she would see fit to even lend an ear to my petty problems. I am not worthy. My apologies, I have a habit of getting caught up in my own little world sometimes. At any rate, with you two at my side, I cannot see how we could possibly fail. And if we somehow do, it will undoubtedly be entirely my fault. Come on, you gotta have some faith in yourself. Gotta have some confidence. Actually, before you go, would you mind if I ask you something else? Are you the same adventure that helped the treasure hunters gain access to Saint Mosian's Arboretum? Yes, I am. I knew it! Swanee himself regaled me with tales of your bravery. You have my sincerest thanks. Without your help, we could never have created the mud plots. It's noticeably improved the food supply situation at Idleshire. Sonny really sums up our gratitude best when he refers to you as Saint Cecilla. It's just a shame that I'm so bloody useless, really. We really never stood a chance of cultivating anything worthwhile with me just involved. Well, I suppose that's everything for now. I have decided to wait for word from Fufu instead of making any rash decisions on my own. Oh, we gotta have some confidence. Alright. Cecilla, at long last I received word from Fufu. Just uttering her name gives me such joy. But this is hardly the time or the place to be longing for her exquisite company. That's what every other waking moment is for. Now we need to head to Gridania so that we may actually enjoy her have her brief us on about the best to proceed. Although, as this is my first trip to Gridania, I was wondering if it wouldn't be too much trouble for you to show me around. Oh, why not? Oh, thank you, Cecilla. You're as courteous as the Argos made you sound. I shall see you in Gridania shortly then. Shortly? Do you realize how far Gridania is from here? Unless you have a teleport. That lovely scent in the air, the lush greenery, this truly is the spiritual home of botany. I wonder if there isn't some way I can stay here more permanently. There I go daydreaming again. Honestly, Edge, let us make your way to the guild. She's so excited to be here. All right. Let's get to the heart of the matter. I suggest we cultivate a new species of Papoto. Papoto? You mean the root vegetable used in soups and pancakes? The very same. While the Giovanni hinterlands enjoy more sunlight than most regions, the soil is far from fertile. The area's mountainous terrain and cold climates can also hardly be considered favorable. Succinctly put, it is not especially hospitable from a botanist point of view, and should come as no surprise that any crops planted there would be lacking in quality. However, that is precisely why I propose we put our faith in sturdy Papoto. But do you not think that we would struggle to sell our to regular Papotos? They're so we could up this word again. Whatever this word is in Eorzea. I can't imagine what would be interesting when grown in Giovannia. That would be true if we planned to simply grow the common Papoto. However, through selective breeding, we shall give birth to one that is unique to Giovannia, one that would come to represent the region. Oh. Since I would like you to get some wild Papotos for me, we shall plant these in the mud plots and crossbreed them. By improving upon Papotos that have already been able to grow in harsh, hard conditions, we might be able to produce one of the toughest root vegetables known to man. Okay. You have my thanks. I suggest searching East End. The area was famed for its Papoto production once upon a time. The settlement there that used to cultivate the vegetable may be long gone, but I imagine there should be a few Papotos grown in the area. You certainly don't stand a much higher chance of finding wild Papotos there than you would aimlessly wandering the realm. And I shall accompany you, Cecilla. I may not be able to help much with harvesting Papotos, but I'm sure I could be of some use. Perhaps I could clean your boots every now and then? I don't know, I see the harm of an edge tagging along. It may even turn out to be quite a learning experience for her. East End is a relatively peaceful area, but I shall let the order of Twin Adder know that you're coming as a precaution. Then it's settled. I shall go ahead and scout the area for you. She's so excited. So where's East End at? Oh, it's over there. It's over there. Oh, so there you are, and I heard from one of the scout soldiers that this is the area where Papotas used to be grown. Fufu told me that we should aim to bring back 3 of them. That should be more than enough. Oh, and don't worry about lugging them back to Ottershire. That's my job. Another reason why I'm glad we only need 3. Okay, so this is similar to Minor. So, you gotta go to the nodes, and since these are quest-specific items, these will only appear with this quest active, so, well, we already know the area we gotta go, so once I've got the Papotos, I will be back to turn them in. Alright, that was a painless endeavor. You finished? I wonder what it's like to be so skilled. Must be nice. I may be an inadequate botanist, but I would like to believe that I have it in me to haul for you propose as far as the mud plots. I'll make sure to assist Fufu in preparing them to be replanted as soon as I arrive. Okay. Alright, Edge. Your time is uncanny. We just finished our preparations not a moment ago. Now it begins the hard work. That was incredible! The finesse with which you planted each individual Popoto. Now I know just why Fufu speaks so highly of you. If I could even be half as good as you, I'd die a happy botanist. But there's no better opportunity for me to improve than now, with first-rate botanists mentoring me. Speaking of which, Fufu has graciously agreed to help me crossbreed her Popotos and plant the resulting seeds. Surely her loveliness knows no bounds. I look forward to seeing you again once our hard work is done. Man, you're not too shabby yourself. Gotta have more confidence in yourself. Okay, Cecil, the proposals are coming along very nicely. However, we're not quite there just yet. Fufu has sent word asking us to visit the guild to discuss crossbreeding and further details. Do you have the time to accompany me there once more? My god. Fantastic! Let us rendezvous in front of the guild as usual. I'm keen to try make my way there my own way there this time. Okay. Okay. Nice to see you both got my message. The wild proposals you collected from me have taken quite well, and work is progressing at a healthy pace. However, while I have succeeded in harnessing the wild specimen's hardiness, I have been unable to incorporate any element that would set our Popolos apart from the rest. I believe in you, Fufu. If anyone's capable of making this a success of this, it's you. Thank you for your faith, Edge. It is most touching. As it happens, I do indeed have an idea. I've heard tales of a Popoto species known as Walker's Popoto that once cultivated upon the Isle of Vilbrand. It is said to be a variety that retains its shape when boiled, and making it perfect for stews. Crossbreeding our existing Popolos with this variety may give us that special something we need to make ours stand out. Say no more. Cecil shall gather all the Walker's Popotos you need. You catch on quick, Edge. From what I understand, they used to grow on the Red Rooster stead. Try asking around there to see if someone can point you in the right direction. Asking people questions is one of the few things I'm good at. Let's go, Cecil. I have a good feeling about this. Where is that? Where am I going? Where the hell is this place? Oh, why do you gotta go there? Oh, I hate going there. I hate flying over there. Alright. Just kinda soak in the music. Nice, relaxing music. Alright, who am I talking to in here? Yes, Walker's Popotos. We're always shipping them off to the Far East. Those Hinkins go mad for a good Walker's Popoto. We haven't grown any for quite some time, and once surprised me if someone over there had gotten tired of waiting for us to resume growing them and started cultivating their own. Walker's Popotos? That's a name I have not heard in a while. I'm afraid you're far too late. We haven't cultivated those since the calamity. I cannot say I missed them either. They were so susceptible to both disease and the cold. It was always an uphill battle. You won't find any storage in storage either. In case you're getting your hopes up. Or if you threw the last of them out long ago, I've never heard of anyone else volunteering to grow them since. It's not going to be of any help. Well, at least your colleague here was more helpful. Oh, hello there, Cecilum. My apologies, I wasn't good at gathering information after all. Suppose that's one thing we can add to the list of jobs I can't be trusted with. God, you have like no faith in yourself. What's that? There's a chance we might find Walker's Popotos in the Far East? Well then, the best of luck on your journey to Kagane. Are you not going? I know I really ought to accompany you, but visiting Gridania alone was enough to put my head in a spin. I'm not sure I can handle an entirely different continent. It also wouldn't do for me to leave my darling plants on their own for such a long time. I guess that makes sense. But do not fear, I will see to it that everything is in place for you to plant the Popotos upon your triumphant return. Alright, Kagane it is. Alright. I got hiccups. Where am I going? To the markets! Alright, let's see around here. What can I find out? Walker's Popotos. I cannot say I've ever sold them in my shop. I do feel I may have heard of them being grown in Asari, the mainland, mind you. It might be worth paying the village a visit. Okay. What about you? Walker's Popotos. A taste of your Popotos I have never stocked. In fact, I'm completely out of them right now as that happens. I have not seen him at my supplier for quite some time. I'm fairly certain his name was Hikinami. I lost contact with him when things began to get a little rough on the Ruby Sea. Well, I got two places to look. So, Ruby Sea and Asari. So let's check out Asari first. Wait, it's in Namai, right? Oathard. No, that's right. It's the wrong place. I keep forgetting that little village was there. God, I love this music. This mount music never gets old. It's so relaxing, you know? As much as I like the Cruise Chaser music, this is so much better. Yes, I'm Hikinami. I used to cultivate Walker's Popotos a little to the north of the village. That came to an end when my coworkers declined in number and there were not enough hands to help with the harvest. I have long since handed the field back to nature. If you're in luck, there may be some still growing in the wild in that same area. I no longer have any use for them. Feel free to take any you find. Where am I going? Where? Othar, East Othar coastline? You mean these? These patches? Oh, there they are. So, I'm gonna find the... see if there's a node with the +1 variety. That's not what I wanted to do. No? And +1 variety, huh? What about these? Aha! Make this easy. I guess I don't have to go very far this time around. I mean, it's like right there. Huh. At least I don't have to cut this one out. Actually, I probably don't have to cut the other one out either. The last two the last two items are extremely close to where I was told to gather, as opposed to minor. Cecil, delighted to see you return safe and sound. Was the spinner on your side? Yes. I got a couple more too. You can take them. So this is the much sought after Walker's Popoto. Ah yes, upon closer inspection, it certainly has a different hue compared to the common Popoto. Well then all that remains is to replant them. That hardly took any time at all, and you pretty much did it all by yourself. I'm truly beginning to wonder if I shouldn't just entrust the mud plots to your much more capable hands, Cecil. Huh. Looks like you're enjoying yourself, Edge. Oh god, look at this guy. Fucking shit. Fucking Afro man. Sonny, whatever brings you here? Guy, I think you need to get a new haircut. Well, you know, I thought it'd be good of me to check on how things are going from time to time. I'm not good with a hatchet, that's for sure, but I am your boss in name at least. Cecil, it's been too long. Hope you liked what we did with the treasure. Must say, though, I never dreamed you'd turn out to be a first-rate botanist. Makes you wonder what other secrets you're hiding from us. Don't suppose you happen to be a first-rate culinarian, would you? Well, here's the thing. Speaking of which, how are things coming along? Quite well. Entirely thanks to Cecil and her here, admittedly. But, well, you know, better than most of how useless I am. Listen, I have no problem with a bit of humility, but you're well on your way to beating your self-confidence to a bloody pulp. Have you already forgotten just who it was that created this place? But just look how crooked some of the plants are growing, and the leaves on that tree aren't as green as they should be. Honestly, where are you going to learn to stop being so harsh on yourself? Striving for improvement is one thing, but there's no point comparing yourself to the best botanist in the bleeding realm. Sorry for all this. She might not belong to the botanist guild like you, but she's a lot better than she dares to give herself credit for. I reckon she'd give give guild veterans a good run for their money even. I really appreciate if you give her a little praise every now and then. Only when she's deserving of it, of course. Here's hoping that picks her spirits up a bit. Can I offer you some advice on hairstyles? Oh, Sonny, he truly is far too kind to me. Wait, he's got a point. You're a little too harsh on yourself. All I ever wanted as a child was to someday be a botanist. I was ready to spend my every waking moment studying for that one goal, but it wasn't to be. My family died when I was still little, leaving me to fend for myself. It was all I could do to survive, and there was no room for dreams. It was when I was on the verge of giving up that I met Sonny. He gave my life some semblance of order amongst all the chaos. This allowed me to pick up the fragments of my dream and finally begin studying botany. I never thought all the studying would actually serve a purpose someday. But that's enough about boring old me. Seeing Sonny again for the first time in a while brought back memories of the past. Memories I'm sure you don't want me to hear anymore about. As to the work at hand, there's not a whole lot we can do until the crossbreeding is complete. I'm sure you must retire from your travels to the Far East. By all means, have a rest and stop by again in the near future. Okay. Cecil, I don't imagine you were expecting good news, considering my involvement, but I once again managed to make a mess of everything. While the first generation of crossbred potato plants successfully sprouted, every single one of them withered frightfully fast. I imagine it's down to some kind of disease, but an amateur such as myself could never hope to identify such a thing. Fufu has once again summoned us to the guild to discuss his latest development. I shall see you there. How do you get there so fast? That's what I want to know. Because Gridania is pretty far away from here. I mean, you gotta go through the hinterlands, you gotta go through the forelands, you gotta go through the western highlands, you gotta go through Ishgard, then you gotta go through Korthus, then you gotta go through the North Shroud, and then bam, you're in Gridania. I mean, that's a lot of travel. Welcome back from your journey to the Far East, Tesla. I assume Edge has already informed you of our worrying predicament. I hypothesize that our first generation of crossbred Popotos have inherited the Walker's unfortunate vulnerability to both diseases and pests. However, we are yet to pinpoint the exact cause as to why they have wilted so quickly. But how can it be? Was no one at the guild able to determine the cause of our plight? Much as it vexes me, this conundrum has bested all of us. We at the guild are fundamentally nothing more than observers of nature. It is a force of all of its own, one that we try our best to understand but cannot hope to harness, nor should we. However, that is not to say that all is lost. I fully intend to devote all the resources available to me in order to ascertain exactly what it is that hinders our progress so. I was hoping I could count on your help, Cecil. A fresh pair of eyes may be exactly what is needed to get to the bottom of this mystery. What do you have me do? That's a good idea. Cecil, let's head back to the mud plots and I shall do my best not to get in your way. Can you tell her not to be so harsh on herself? Because, it's getting a little annoying now. What am I doing? Alright, let's check out this field. You spy a faint white glint in the soil. That seems suspicious. What is this? Cocaine? Are we growing cocaine? It's okay. What's the matter? Was it something in the soil? There's this. Whatever this is. Some white stone. Is this some kind of stone? No, that's not right. But surely Fufu would have noticed if they were that simple. Yes, I must be mistaken. There's no way an amateur such as myself could solve something that stumped the guild. Have some bloody confidence in yourself for once. I think I needed someone to tell me that. I have to say, I'm glad it came from you. Thanks, Cecil. Ascertaining the identity of these chonky stones may well be the key to uncovering what's causing our proposal to wither so quickly. However, we will first require a regent. I know we've already had you do enough work for a lifetime, but would you be able to visit Styx Bang Pots for me? Hand us over to the alchemist there named Goldwalks, and she should be able to give you what we need. God damn, I gotta go back there? In the meantime, I'll head to the guild and ask Fufu for her expert opinion regarding these stones. Exactly what am I gonna get from those guys? Guess I'll find out, right? Goldwalks recognizes mining Uplander. Does Uplander not want to trade tongue flaps with cheap sticks? No, not this time. I'd want to exchange tongue flaps with you. Uplander would give Goldwalks crafty make region. First, Goldwalks needs Uplander to bring seaweed known as Nanoriso. Gabi needs this for region. Bring Goldwalks 8 clumps of Nanoriso and Gabi will crafty make the regions. Uplander needs to visit the Far East. Nanoriso can be found at the bottom of the Ruby Sea. Okay, well, I know where to go for that, but where exactly on the bottom of the Ruby Sea am I supposed to go? You do realize how big the Ruby Sea is, right? I might have to pull up my handy dandy tablet for the exact coordinates. Okay, so the coordinates are 14, 16. So please, okay, wait, where am I going? Okay, so they're roughly around over here somewhere. So once I've gathered the Nanoriso, I will be back to turn them in, since this is a little out of the way. Alright, got your stuff, Goldwalks. Bring gold. Okay, I got him. Oh shit, I just dropped my phone. Oops. Finding a Nanoriso Goldwalks is not seen. Gabi will start crack making region right away. Goldwalks shall use techniques of both Uplanders and Gabi's to make region with fastness. Region is ready for edge. Alright. Fast delivery. Okay. Bah! Get me out of here. Uh-oh. I got what you need. Fantastic, now we can finally see if my silly little hypothesis holds true. I can't believe it. Did I do something wrong? How could something that came from a mine ever turn out to be correct? What's wrong now? I see you two have already begun your tests. Have you discovered anything new? Did Edge's guess end up being correct? The way it responded to the region doesn't leave much room for doubt. It's an eelworm, and Pesta is not going to do us any favors. The chalky stone-like object that Sissa found was one of its eggs. So, things are just as you assumed they were, Edge. There is, however, one issue I still struggle to comprehend. As parasites, eelworms require a host plant to feed on. The mud plots were only created recently. Just why were the eggs of such vermin lurking in the area? According to the Charlotte records Sawyer looked at, eelworms enter a state of dormancy within their mother's corpse, allowing them to survive for over a decade. They are more than capable of waiting for as long as necessary for a new grub to show up. The blasted records also claimed they'd all been exterminated. Either the Sharons have a fine definition of the word, or we were unlucky enough to pick an area that was home to an eelworm corpse or two. The eggs inside which hatched and infested the mud plots. Most unfortunate indeed. I must say though, I have been remarkably impressed by the tremendous growth you have shown, Edge. You have come a long way, both as a person and a botanist. I have no idea what you're talking about. After all, it was Sessa that found the eelworm eggs in the first place. I still haven't come up with a solution to this pest problem. The records weren't much use regarding that either, although you'd think they must have had some way of ridding them so the vermin that they were able to have to consider them exterminated. Well then, I suppose it's time to pull my weight as well. I shall look into the past cases of eelworm infestation and try to formulate a suitable plan of action. I'll keep looking through the Sharon records to see if I can find a solution as well. Suppose I'll give you a hand with that. I may not know much about plants, but my eyes will work well enough. My apologies, Sessa, but you'll need to be patient for a while as we search for a permanent solution to this conundrum. Edge will let you know once we are ready to put an end to these pests once and for all. I'll be around. Alright, what you find out? Cecil, we've done it! We found a solution to our pest problem at last! I was just about to make my way to the guild to talk to Fufu. It's only right that you should join us at the culmination of everyone's hard work. My god, why do we have to keep going there? Why? Why can't they just meet us here? Meet us here? My god. This guy's still standing there. Ah, Cecil, good to see you made it. I was worried you might miss out on the best part. I see everyone's present and accounted for. Let us begin. Sounds like one to you. Ed and I managed to find a solution. Two, actually, to this eelworm infestation. We can choose to put our faith in either alchemy or... what was it called again? Ah, yes, companion planting. While alchemy is the more potent of the two, it does have its downsides. For one, it is equally potent. Its equally potent effects... side effects, and if any concoction we use happens to scatter further than we planned, it could wreak all manner of havoc on the environment. In which case, the only option realistically available to us will make use of a blend of two. I know enough about botanic alchemy to cover that aspect, but companion planting may prove somewhat difficult to utilize. I don't want to make a fool of myself, but could someone explain to me what companion planting is exactly? Simply put, it is the process of planting different crops in close proximity so that they may mutually benefit one another. These benefits vary from stimulating the growth of the neighboring crops to increasing yields. Oh, and perhaps most interestingly, it can also prevent pest damage. In the case of eelworm infestation, a flowering plant called Rogger's Streak is said to be effective. However, sadly for us, there are none left in St. Mosian's Arbitrum. I can say with confidence that we never had any at the guild either. However, I do have an idea as to where they may be found. The flower owes its name to Rogger, the guardian deity of Alamigo. I dare say you stand a good chance of finding it in Giribania, where faith in the destroyer has ever been strong. It stands to reason that the flower would grow in the area. And that's where you come in, Cecila. Do you reckon you'd be traveling to Giribania and tracking down this elusive plant on our behalf? Oh, if I must. I've done it so far. All that we've been through together, I have in mind to accompany Cecila. It's the least I can do. Don't begin to hear yourself now, young lady. The fight may have died down, but there's no guarantee that Giribania is safe enough for civilians to wander around searching for flowers. Cecila may be able to look after herself just fine, but you're a different story. You would only get in the way. Say what you want, it's my duty to accompany Cecila. This is the final obstacle standing in our way, and I can't very well leave her to tackle it alone. The final call is yours, Cecila, but in mine, such passions ought to not be hindered. Thank you so much, Cecila. This time, I promise you will have no cause to regret allowing me to accompany you. I'll go on ahead and begin asking people about the flower's whereabouts. Also, I'll take the precaution of informing the Order of the Twin End of your visit. The best of luck to you both. Lord. Do look after her, Cecila. Edge is like a little sister I never had. Doesn't bear thinking what I'd do if something happened to her. Oh, she'll be fine, right? Maybe? That's not where I want to go, not Rogger's Reach. Orion's. Let's do it. Alright, Ed, did you find out? Since I was wondering when you get here, an Alamego Twin Arrow officer gave me the most scrumptious morsel of information. He claimed to have heard of a plant used to prevent pests growing in a village named Alagiri. I'm not the only one who thinks this sounds like exactly what we're searching for, am I? He followed this up by saying its surroundings are fraught with danger, and there is no place for a little lady botanist to be poking around. Honestly, the cheek of the man. All his words have done is harden my resolve. Come, Cecil, to Alagiri we go. My god, I just got here and I'm going somewhere else. Lord. Alright. Alright, Ed, what'd you find out? Anything different? Anything new? Well, this seems like the place. Let's try asking around about Rogger Streak. Why? Alright, let's see what people can tell us around here. You! Sir! Rogger Streak. I just talked to stuff for a while, but then the area's pest problem got sorted out and nobody wanted it anymore. The smell wasn't for everyone, you see. Could you give me a little more details? No? Fine. I don't want your details anyway. What about you? Now that's a name I've not heard of for a while. Memory's a bit foggy, but I'm pretty sure it was a wildflower found far out in the mountains. Who knows, there could still be a patch for them growing somewhere. Oh, that's something I can work with. There's a lot of mountains around here. Ah, yes, they were brought here from the locks for their pest preventing qualities. No idea what was done with them after the vermin problem had been solved, mind you. You might have better luck asking someone else. Sorry, lass. Well, you got a location at least. Right, so from what we heard, odds are that Rogger Streak grows on a mountain somewhere in the locks, far away from any settlements. I'm going to head back to Adelstar lest I risk truly getting in your way. I'll make sure to prepare the mud pots for your return. Assuming everything goes swimmingly, all you need to do is plant the flowers and we'll be well on our way to a pest-free future. Well, I suppose you shall actually have to find the flower first, although I don't imagine that will trouble you too much. If you can spot a tiny little eelworm egg, you can surely spot a flower. Okay, leave it to me. Alright, so similar to with Miner, this is an unspoiled node. It's timed. It's at 7-9. That's where we gotta go. So 7, we gotta way the hell up there. So it should be roughly around there. Maybe it's there. Maybe it's not. Let's go find out. I have a feeling it's not. And it's not, because otherwise it would show up on the map. There's a hunt monster there too. Cool. Wonderful. Alright, so it'll spawn roughly somewhere around here. The unfortunate thing about this is it spawns at 4 AM and 4 PM Eorzean time. So, I got quite a bit of waiting to do. Fuck me. We're 4 hours late. Damn it. Well, when it's spawned, I will gather it, and then once I've got what I needed, we'll be back in Isleshire to plant our flower. Alright, there is the node that we're looking for. Let's head on over there and get to that node. I need 5 of these things, so I'm going to need think it's Blessed Harvest. Yes. Perfection. I'm good to go. Alright. Got what I needed, got what I came for. Let's go wrap this up. Oh man. Hey, Edge, I got your stuff. You should be okay. You don't need to tell. I already got it. And a little extra too. This is Roger's streak. It's beautiful. It's stunningly beautiful, yet beautifully stunning, all at the same time. You just repeated yourself pretty much. Right, Edge, that's enough accent for now. Think common thoughts. Sorry for that, Tesla. Everything's ready. All that remains is to plant the flowers. Let's see if this works. Ooh, look at that. I finally grabbed like 5 bunches of flowers. Now they're all over the place. Phew, who knew planting flowers could be such tiring work? I have to say, even though we only planted them to get rid of the past, they've done wonders for the mud plant's overall image. Huh. Now, if that ain't a sight for sore eyes. The smell isn't half bad either. Fantastic work, Cecila. Seems it was right to entrust this task to the guild's finest botanist. I honestly do not know if we could have done this without you, Cecila. Can't believe my eyes. What's going on? Look at that, they're growing. It's one surprise after another today. To think that the first batch of Popo survived. These little guys are tough, that's for sure. I was absolutely positive they were all done for. Thank you for staying strong, little ones. It'll be alright from now on. Let's hope. I shall make sure of it. Having seen how far you've come, I too have the utmost confidence in you, Edge. However, allow me to give you a helping hand of sorts. What are you gonna do? Whatever it is, she's sure excited. No, look at you, got a new attire. But this garb was only given to the most accomplished botanists. You may say I've grown of late, but I cannot bring myself to believe I'm worthy of such an honor. Now, do not be so harsh on yourself. It is true that you have only made but the first step on the long road to becoming a great botanist. However, it is precisely with that in mind that I saw fit to furnish you with this gift. Think of it as a sign of my steadfast belief in your future. A future which you are now more than strong to cultivate on your own. While Seth and I will no longer be actively helping you, we shall be certainly keeping a watchful eye on your progress. I wish you the best of luck, first botanist Fidleshire. First, I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that to stop myself from fainting. But I promise you all I shall work in tandem with nature to carve Idleshire's name firmly into botanic history, starting with these Popodos. Alright, we got success! Giovanni and Popodos! Soon to hit a market near you. That's a lot of fucking XP. Alright, cool. Now we got some stuff going around here. This is nice. Okay. But that is the end of the levels 50 through 70 Botanist quests. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next part. Later.